All right, let's get back to one of today's top stories. History made today as the first African-American woman was confirmed for the Supreme Court.
So let's discuss this historic moment with Professor Steve Caliendo with North Central College. Professor Caliendo, good to see you.
Great to see you both.
Okay, so not sure if you caught the confirmation itself. I know things have been kind of unfolding after the last couple of weeks, but what are your thoughts here? How significant of a moment is this in U.S. history?
It's such a big day, and I really think that it's important to think about the moment and capturing this time in history, and then also being realistic to think what does it say about us that it's taken until 2022 to have this moment in history, but to think about little African-American girls being able to see themselves reflected so clearly now at the highest court of the land. It's such an exciting thing, and so I think we should take a pause when we have an opportunity to celebrate that.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah, we've been hearing responses from a lot of Black women, especially talking about how important this moment is. Like you mentioned, it took a while. It's 233 years we've had the Supreme Court. She is the first. And while she had the votes today, 3 Republicans siding with Democrats to make this happen, confirmation process was kind of bruising. Your thoughts on getting to this point?
Yeah, I was very disappointed, to be honest, because I didn't think, I think we've since 1987, at least during Judge Bork's hearings, we kind of had a sense that the partisanship kind of creeps its way into the Senate confirmation process, and that was okay. And to the extent that it's ideological, about jurisprudence, or maybe even it's about policy. But what the questions that now Justice Jackson, then Judge Jackson, of course, were getting really weren't about her. There were proxy questions. There was really people, I think, especially in the Judiciary Committee, that were pandering to the base and setting themselves up for presidential runs or other types of political appointments. And it was really disappointing that she had to go through that. And so, she persists. She makes it through, and she takes her place in history today.
So now she is justice, as you mentioned. What do you feel like Justice Jackson will bring to the Supreme Court?
Well, I think in terms of ideological balance, there's not going to be much of a shift. I think that's one of the reasons why, the 3 Republicans didn't feel too uncomfortable voting for her. In other words, Justice Breyer is retiring, and he was considered to be a sort of center-left judge, and Justice Jackson will probably be similar in that mold. And so we won't see a real shift in sort of the ideology of the court. But I think that she brings a background that's interesting in terms of her professional background, there haven't been a lot of trial court judges that have taken the Supreme Court, and she has that experience, and so we'll see. The court watchers for the first couple of opinions will have their eye very clearly on how she acts during oral arguments, and then of course when she writes her first opinion or which opinion she signs off on as she gets underway.
We'll be watching. Professor Caliendo, thanks for being here to discuss it.
It's great to see you both.
You too.